Samsung has just released this new lineup of high-end Pro tablets to the market, but how does it stack up to LG's latest tablet, the G Pad 8.3? Let's find out. This video is brought to you by Kadabi, makers of premium accessories for all your favorite phones and tablets. Find Kadabi at kadabi.com. So Samsung is very well known for releasing a wide variety of high-end tablets, ranging from the Note to the Tab and now the new Pro series. This new series specifically caters to the high-end market, and the price definitely reflects that. The G Pad, on the other hand, is LG's first attempt in a while to get into the growing tablet market and industry. It looks to offer the same great portability of smaller 7-inch tablets like the Nexus 7 and Kindle Fire HDX, while still delivering a lot of screen real estate. Both of these devices are top of the line, and there's no doubting that they are super high-end, but there are some major similarities and differences between each of them. We are going to start this video off with the software, and more specifically the LG G Pad 8.3 Google Play Edition. It does currently run the latest version of Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and it will receive updates very fast. And what I mean by this is that Google Play Edition devices are expected to receive updates faster and for a longer period of time than standard tablets like the Galaxy Tab, Galaxy Note, and others. As far as the actual looks and feel of the operating system, 4.4 KitKat is a bit of a design overhaul and is generally cleaner with larger icons and new navigation systems. One of my favorite things is the new emphasis on Google Now. After spending a lot of time with the OS, I would say Google Now is my favorite simply because it can be accessed so quickly by swiping directly to the left of the device. Honestly, Google Now has just evolved so much within the last year, and it's no doubt my favorite simply because it's so convenient. It gives you all the information you need, and even the information you didn't know you even needed. What I mean is that it'll just tell you the time that it'll take from, say, your workplace, school, or the gym, how long it will take to get there and back. Simple information like that you wouldn't actually have to need to look up yourself. The Samsung Galaxy TabPro 8.4 utilizes Samsung's Touchwiz overlaid on Android 4.4 KitKat. I've never been a huge Touchwiz fan, and I'm still not now, but something new that Touchwiz has recently introduced is called Magazine UX, which is powered by Flipboard. Magazine UX allows you to add new home screens that act like Flipboard and allow you to choose from a bunch of different categories and physically and literally swipe through them to find out what you're interested in. It's essentially like a magazine screen similar to the Metro UI on Windows Phone. Another thing that is pretty cool is that you can add social networks and other apps to put in there like Facebook or YouTube. It's definitely a cool concept as it does save you the time of going into an app for your news. Instead, you can just catch up on the latest in sports, business, technology, and other social media by simply swiping to the left or right of your home screen. And the main feature I actually really do use and enjoy on Touchwiz is called multi-window. Most of you guys probably have heard about multi-window or have at least had the concept and thought in your head for some time. It's unfortunate that it isn't a default on every single tablet and smartphone because it truly is that useful. Multi-window allows you to use 2 different apps at the same time, and on higher end tablets like the Note Pro 12.2, you can actually use up to 4 different apps, which makes multitasking absolutely fantastic. But on this TabPro 8.4, you can use 2 different apps at the same time. For example, watch a YouTube video and take notes at the same time. It's really functional, and it's one of my favorite things about the TabPro 8.4. While I'm usually not a huge fan of Touchwiz, this has been a slight step up, and for once I'm actually really excited to see where Samsung goes on to take this. The build and overall physique of both of these tablets are very different. The LG G Pad has definitely been a bit more premium, and it does have a dark slate aluminum backing that's very comparable to that of the iPad mini. I also feel like the G Pad is just crafted and built with a little bit more attention to detail. That's obviously controversial, but that's simply my opinion. To back that up, I would say that the volume rockers are ultra precise, very tactile, and just super premium. In terms of build, I would definitely go with the G Pad over the TabPro 8.4. However, Samsung has obviously put a lot of work into the looks and overall feel of the TabPro 8.4. It's still made of the same leathery material found on the Note 3, and if you haven't ever felt it, it does feel like a cheap leather that is soft to the touch. That being said, the stitching definitely does look solid, and you shouldn't have any issues with durability. One of the pluses of having this stitched back is that the back won't actually get scratched up or scuffed. It will attract some dust and grime here and there, but for the most part it can't get scratched. That is a different story on the G Pad though. And I know I did say this in my comparison with the iPad Mini Retina, and also the one that I did with the Nexus 7, and you can actually check those videos out in the description if you haven't seen them already. But anyway, the back of the TabPro is surprisingly grippy. It's another one of those things that I'm really happy about, even though the overall feel of it isn't perfect. It makes using a device in one hand surprisingly comfortable, and it really is a nice addition. One thing that also isn't new like the back, but does look nice, is the metallic band going around the device. It just adds to the overall looks and feel of the tablet, and again is a nice touch. One notable change from this version to the previous version of Samsung tablet and phones is the button orientation. Samsung has opted to swap out the menu key for a new recent button that's found on the LG G Pad 8.3 and other Nexus devices. This totals us in at 3 buttons: a recent, home, and back. I'm really glad that they did make this switch because it makes multitasking a lot easier. However, I do prefer the on-screen software buttons that are shown on the G Pad 8.3. Moving over to the actual size of each of these devices, they are actually quite different. The TabPro 8.4 measures in at 219mm tall and 124mm wide, while the G Pad 8.3 is 216mm in height and 126 in width. The TabPro 8.4 is slightly thinner than the G Pad by about 1 full millimeter. I would say the difference is very small. It's tough to notice even when having both devices in both of my hands. Probably the thing that I was most impressed with about the 8.4 was the display. Prior to actually using and testing this tablet, I was thinking it's just going to be another oversaturated, low-resolution display from Samsung. But the only thing I did get right is that it is from Samsung, and I've used devices like the G Pad, the Air, the iPad Mini Retina, the Nexus 10, and surprisingly enough, none of these devices beat out the screen of the TabPro 8.4. And part of the reason why this display is so stellar is due to the 2560 by 1600 resolution. And this does give the TabPro 8.4 a pixel density of 359, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Moving back over to the G Pad 8.3's display, and to put it plainly, it just isn't that great, especially standing next to one of the best displays on a tablet, the 8.4. The screen is just super dim compared to the TabPro, and that's very evident in my Nexus 7 2013 versus iPad Mini Retina versus iPad Air versus LG G Pad 8.3 video. And if you are interested in checking that out, it will be linked in the description below. I mean, the screen isn't horrible, but it just isn't comparable to the TabPro 8.4. The LG G Pad 8.3 can be picked up in both black and white color variants, but the Google Play Edition is only available in black. As far as the TabPro goes, it can be picked up in black and white color variants, with storage options of 16 and 32 gigs. One major difference between these two tablets is expandable storage. The TabPro 8.4 can add 64 GB of storage with a micro SD card, while the LG G Pad 8.3 also can do that. And if you're interested in purchasing a micro SD card, that along with everything else I've pretty much mentioned in this video will be down in the description below. The battery on both of these tablets are pretty much great. There's nothing bad I could say, and I was able to go pretty long on both of these tablets. With my usage, they did last several days. I wasn't a huge heavy user, but battery shouldn't be a concern with either tablet. Moving on to the processors, RAM, and all of that good stuff with the internals, the G Pad 8.3 has a Snapdragon 600 processor, while the 8.4 has a slightly more updated and powerful Snapdragon 800. They each offer super smooth operation of the operating system, and they're easily capable of multitasking plenty of apps and handling graphic-intensive games. However, one thing that is very important to note is that the Samsung lag is still there. It's one of those things that's on pretty much every Samsung device, even on the newest ones like this, and it will probably be there on the Galaxy S5 as well. However, I was able to eliminate it by simply turning off S-Voice and a couple other features. But honestly, the lag just shouldn't be there on a high-end device like this. And to summarize, both of these tablets will do a fantastic job as a multimedia device for around the house or bus or on the go. Neither are computer replacements or anything like that, but the pure power may be a little bit more than a general consumer might need. And tacking on the $400 price tag, it might just be a little bit too much for your wallet as well. In my opinion, a nice midpoint might be the Nexus 7 2013, and I'll have that link down below in the description for those that are interested. Anyway, hopefully this video did help you out, and if it did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see all of you guys in the next one.